3 o'clock. Great to have you with us. Gorgeous Thursday afternoon. I do apologize. I am under the weather, so I'm sorry if I sound a little off. I want to talk about the Lions home opener, but in a different way. We're going to get to all the football tomorrow, and it's all going to lead us to the same path. Beat the Bears or you're garbage. Simple. But when Rico and I were talking about this before the show, guys, I just want to understand, from a fan's perspective, I don't view going to an NFL game as a right, but I do view it as an option. So, for me growing up, I couldn't go to Giants games. They had a waiting list, and the best we could do is we get to go to a preseason game. And that's what we got to do. We didn't have money. So believe me, I understand it's not a right. What I'm saying is the option would have been there had tickets been more available. We didn't have things like StubHub, back in the 1860s. Basically, I'm old. But when I look at what it costs to go to the game this weekend, I was shocked. And I want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you guys. The standing room only is north of $300. Reasonably decent seats. Forget about premium stuff. Reasonably decent seats are $700-800 a piece. That's before we talk parking, before we talk concessions, any of it. And I look, people have waited a lifetime for the Lions to be good. If you want to say we had this in the 90s where every other year we were good, that's cool. That's still 30 years ago. The idea that if you wanted to take your kid, much less kids plural, and it's going to cost you, if you have two kids and you want to take them to a game, I mean, there's no way you're doing it for under $1,000. You're just not. And I wanted to know if it's reached a point where now as a fan, you feel like you've been pushed out. Not by the team necessarily, because, again, the secondary market is the market. But here's the comp I want to make. And Rico, don't roll your eyes. Just hear me out before I say it. I'm not going to turn this into something. But what's happening in sports, and it's actively happening, I see it happen in my sport, horse racing. That was for the common man, okay? Whether it's the track I grew up near in Saratoga where $2 got you in and you brought your cooler, to where now on the big days of racing, it's $100 to get in and you don't bring your cooler. And you go, what did the average guy pay for? Big events in horse racing are now really just for the elites. That's the way they're pricing it. Ask anyone who went to the Kentucky Derby 10 years ago compared to what it is now. It's 3, 4, 5x. You're seeing that with the NFL if your team is good. That it is becoming this thing that I don't know how the average guy with a couple of kids and a mortgage, I don't know how you're going to a game. Not season tickets. Hey, my kid's birthday, I want to take him to a game. I'm sorry. I didn't grow up in a household where my birthday present was $1,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to hear from people because it's this weird juxtaposition of, I love this team. This team is good. I've never wanted to see them more, but I've never felt less able to see them. Does that make sense?
No, Mike, it makes a lot of sense because, especially with the popularity of the team, everybody wants to go. So it's got to be difficult to tell your kids, hey, Dad, can we go to the game? You want Christmas? You want to go to the game? Because that's pretty much what it's boiling up down to. And I guess the Lions try to balance it out because I guess that's where the control scrimmage and they let fans in for free to watch the practice, and the players will hang out there and sign the autographs and things like that to kind of balance it out. But yeah, with the price of tickets, I don't know how people can do that, especially for standing room only. That's not a seat, and that's not including, as you said, parking. Hey, can I get a hat? Can I get a T-shirt? Can I get this? That's coming up to a hefty price tag.
It is. And look, I think it's very similar with college. It is. These colleges that are any good, it's NFL pricing plus. I mean, the last year I had season tickets at State was 2016. face value of the good games was north of $150 a pop. That wasn't some value, and that's without the seat licenses. So I wanted to talk to Lion fans today. I didn't want to do this tomorrow, and Rico and I talked about it off the air, guys, and it's this idea of, look, we're all into it. We all love the NFL, and we all root for the Lions, want them to be good, but I just feel like there's a real line of delineation that's been drawn between the diehards and then maybe a lot of the people that are actually at the game, that it's turning into something that's more social scene than actual fandom. Like, I'll give you an example. The first time they made the playoffs, that Rams game, that was one of the loudest buildings ever on planet Earth, ever, right? The following year against Washington, in what was a very exciting game, I had a number of people I know who were at that game, and they said it was night and day difference. Not that it was a wine and cheese crowd, but it was different. And the only separator would be the cost of the tickets, the amount of people selling them, and then who was buying them. So if you wanted, let's say on a lark, you got a call from your wife, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going out with our daughter Sunday," and you're like, "Geez, maybe I could buy some cheap tickets to the Lions game. I'll sit in the rafter." The cheapest ticket, for sake of I think there's like one ticket available for $298, and I don't even know if that's with fees attached. Call it $300 for the cheapest ticket. Who the hell is looking to spend the better part of $1,000 to sit in the nosebleeds and bump their head off the ceiling? So do you feel like all sports, not just, I'm not vilifying the organization because this is the secondary market we're talking about. Look, the organization raising ticket prices is bad enough. But do you feel like sports is being taken from you guys? 248-539-9797.
I absolutely do think that it is, Mike. And you're right. The more, and I think you see this not just with the Lions, but everybody, the more popular a team becomes, case in point, it's the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is just a bunch of rich people who may not even be paying attention to the game. The real fan, your championship is the NFC or AFC championship game, because that's the last time you'll see real diehard people out there rooting and cheering and who followed the team for decades, because they can't afford to go to the Super Bowl. Let's just face it. It's getting priced out. So the more popular your team is, chances are you can't see them. Now, if the team is bad, yes, it's a bunch of diehards there because nobody's buying the ticket. So, yes, I do think that sports, especially the good teams, your real fans, the fans that are going to be loud, because there was a difference between the Rams game and the Commanders game. That wasn't the same crowd. And a lot of people couldn't afford the Commanders tickets.
No, and honestly, they're also pricing out other people. And believe me, there's no plastic violin here. But I have a buddy of mine who, very successful guy, he's a good man, comes from nothing, like self-made, but loves the Lions. Dedicated a hell of a lot of money. And they eventually raised the prices of his seats, which they're egregious. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't want you targeting where they are. The point is, he basically was like, you know what? Take the tickets, roll them up nice and tight, and pound them. I'm done. This is greed. What you're doing here is greed. I'm out. Like, it's changed his view of the team. So I just, that's the conversation I want to have. And if you're listening, listen, you're not wrong if you're like, listen, I don't care what they cost, I'll pay it. But I want to know if your relationship with sports is changing based on the average guy is seemingly not welcome. And with ticket prices, I mean, look, I can tell you standing room only $300 a head. Is that really an honest thing? Who's lining up to do standing room only? Not many people.
Right.
So if you want a seat, you're talking $600-700, a good seat. Now, you want nosebleeds, you probably $350, $400, just canvassing the arena. Guys, you tell me. 248-539-9797. Lions home opener, it's the highest priced ticket in the league. What's your take on it? And what's your relationship with the team, the sport, as this seemingly only spirals further?